14, the NFL on CBS. Action from the AFC East today in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets. Look at the standings in the division. New England leading the way, one game over the Jets. Patriots taking on the Bears. Miami basically in a must-win scenario if they're going to keep their playoff hopes alive. And the weather, it was raining this morning. It was coming down in buckets. The rain has stopped. We're expecting a chance of rain later on today. Temperature a comfortable 52 degrees. It will be windy over the course of the afternoon. Ian Eagle along with Dan Fouts. Great to be with you at the new Meadowlands Stadium. The Jets have won the toss, and Dan Carpenter will kick it off for Miami. This is significant, Dan, because it's the first time in Rex Ryan's head coaching career where he's taken the ball to open up and not sent out his defense. Brad Smith is the return man, and Smith will take it from the goal line. He's got a running lane. Brad Smith is wrestled down. It was Carpenter getting down the field for Miami. 45-yard return for Smith on the opening kickoff. And the Jets will start out with excellent field position. Mark Sanchez, the interceptions have been piling up of late for the second-year quarterback out of USC.
He told us that the main thing he learned from his poor outing against New England was not to pass up the initial read, take those early and easy completions. That will help his confidence and the confidence of his offense.
Tony Richardson set up as a receiver. And a handoff. Tomlinson is spilled out. Unable to get to the line of scrimmage. Sean Smith in run support, the cornerback. It's a loss of 1 on the play. Let's take a look at the starting offense for the New York Jets. Damian Woody was a question mark, but Woody is in there today dealing with a sprained right MCL. Backs and receivers, Dustin Keller had a huge outing the first time these two teams met back in week 3, a Jets victory. Keller went for 6 catches, 98 yards, and 2 touchdowns in South Florida. Three-receiver set. Tomlinson right up the gut. And Tomlinson brought down officially at the 47.5-yard line. Matt Slauson with a block on that left side. It's an 8-yard gain. It'll be a 3rd and 3 now for the Jets. Just underway. Want to welcome those of you who saw Jacksonville knock off Oakland. Big win for the Jaguars to maintain their lead in the AFC South. Jets and Dolphins are just underway here at the new Meadowlands Stadium. Dime package for Miami. Sanchez out of the gun. Fires. Almost intercepted. Sean Smith would have taken it the distance.
This is twice now. Last couple of games that a Dolphin defender has had his hands on an interception. It was Nolan Carroll against the Browns last week. If Sean Smith makes this catch, it's a foot race to the end zone. Ball hit him right in the hands. Another 3rd down failure for the Jets and Mark Sanchez.
It was a loss last week to Cleveland, 13-10, and Carroll dropped that sure INT with 1:49 to play, and the game tied at 10. Weatherford punting. Devon Best being shadowed there as he calls for the fair catch. Just shy of the 10-yard line. A 40-yard punt for Steve Weatherford. And now the Miami Dolphins offense onto the field, ranked number 19 in the NFL. Chad Henne having his problems with interceptions this season.
But he has had success against the Jets in their man-to-man pressure type of defense, and he likes the matchup of Devon Best and his quickness against the taller Antonio Cromartie of the Jets.
Since week 12 of last season, Henne has been picked off 25 times. That's the most in the NFL over that span, with Favre, Eli Manning, and Matt Hasselbeck behind him with 22 apiece. Fasano and Mastrard, the tight ends. Up the middle, Ronnie Brown. Not much there. It's a 4-yard gain as Bart Scott came over to make the play defensively. Starting offensive line for Miami, some changes because of the injury to Vernon Carey. Carey had started 87 consecutive games, has to sit this one out with a knee injury, so it is Leiden Murtha getting the start. Backs and receivers. Fasano grew up just 20 minutes from here in Verona, New Jersey, and he's had big games against the Jets in his career. 2nd and 6. Keep it on the ground. Ronnie Brown engulfed. Jets prepared defensively. 1.5 yards on that play for Brown. Starting defense for the Jets. They come in ranked number 8 in total defense. Sean Ellis had a sack the last time these two teams played. Linebackers. Calvin Pace did not play in the first meeting after being suspended by the NFL last year. Earlier this year, he had the injury to deal with, and Darrelle Revis, the lockdown corner, did not play in the first meeting as well. We'll see if they try to attack Revis Island here this afternoon. Henny throwing, and a flag down. The intended receiver, Brandon Marshall, who is back from that hamstring injury. He's missed the last 2.5 games. Bart Scott over there defensively made contact.
Yeah, it appears Scott's going to get the PI.
Pass interference. Defense number 57. Penalizing for spot of the foul and a first down.
So Ron Winter, the veteran referee, filling us in, and an early mistake for this Jets defense, one of the leaders of this defensive unit.
Well, as Brandon Marshall cuts to the outside, Scott's got his left arm wrapped around his waist, and that will draw the flag against Scott and the Jets. Key third down conversion there for Miami. They struggled last week against Cleveland, just 4 of 14 on third downs.
In the first meeting, Marshall, 10 catches, 166 yards, and a touchdown, the only touchdown of the season for Brandon Marshall. Ronnie Brown unable to cut it to the outside. Revis there holding his ground. It's a 1-yard gain.
Dan Henning told us that in this type of weather that he's anticipating this afternoon, with the rain and the wind about to hit the new Meadowlands Stadium, that they want to run the ball. Both these teams are kind of mirror images of each other, but running the ball against the Jets will not be easy. Third best in the NFL, allowing just 87.5 yards per game on the ground.
And Dan Henning, former offensive coordinator of the Jets back when Bill Parcells was coaching. Brown stays in the backfield on a 2nd and 9 for Miami. Play action. Henny to throw. Look at the time. Henny throwing underneath, unable to make the connection with Brown. Calvin Pace over there defensively. It'll be 3rd and long.
The Jets just used a 3-man rush that time. I think they confused Henny a little bit. After the play action, he dropped back and he saw that his receiver primary, Devon Best, was covered and had to go to his outlet in a hurry.
The Jets don't generate a lot of sacks. You look at the numbers, and as good as this defense has been under Rex Ryan, that's not a number that pops off the page.
Yeah, just 27 so far this season.
Jason Taylor, the former Dolphin, is leading the Jets in that category with 4 sacks. Empty backfield on a 3rd and 9. The pressure coming. Henny throws it up and throws it out of bounds. He took a shot from Taylor.
Absolutely. Jason Taylor, 4 sacks this season. 131 in his great career. 124 of those with the Dolphins. Watch him come in late, take Henny to the ground. And this pressure here as he gets by Ronnie Brown and then dusts off Anthony Fasano in his quest to get to Henny.
Well, the broken leg for Jim Leonard also affects special teams. He was the punt returner. Santonio Holmes is deep from Brandon Fields. This is returnable for Holmes. Looking for blockers and slips down as he crossed the 30-yard line. He's brought down after the 8-yard return, a 53-yard punt. First quarter action here in New Jersey. The Jets and Dolphins scoreless. Jason Taylor going against his former team is the only Dolphin to ever lead the league in sacks. Back in 2002, had 18.5 as part of his 131.5. The leader among active players in that department. 1st and 10 for the Jets. From the 34, double tight end set. Sean Green gets the call, and he is hit from behind. Koamisi with a flag on the play back at the 32. 2-yard gain.
Personal foul. Grasping the face mask. Offense number 84. 15-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
So it's Ben Hartsock called on the face mask penalty for the Jets.
There's Hartsock, number 84, and he's got both hands up high. That's Koamisi's blocking on, and as Green goes by, Hartsock does not let go.
And Misi was still able to make the play. Joe McKnight is in the game on a 1st and 25. Rookie from USC. Sanchez to throw it. And knocked down. Right at the line of scrimmage. Tony McDaniel getting his hands on it.
Tony McDaniels is 6'7". He didn't have to jump very high to knock that one down.
Defensively for the Miami Dolphins in that 3-4 set, Paul Soliai has been excellent at the nose tackle position in his 4th year from Utah. Linebackers, breakout season. Cameron Wake leading the NFL in sacks with 12. And in the secondary, some question marks on Sean Smith as to whether or not he would be able to play with an ankle injury, but he's in there, paired up with Vontae Davis to take on the Jets receivers. Tomlinson squeezing through a hole out across the 25-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain for LaDainian Tomlinson.
It's been a rough start for the Jets offense, and the quarterback Mark Sanchez in particular. First pass almost intercepted by Sean Smith. Next pass knocked down at the line of scrimmage by Tony McDaniel, and having that penalty on first down by Hartsock does not help out the cause at all.
And this is nothing new for the Jets. Fewest points scored in the first quarter this season in the NFL, only 26. Shotgun formation on a 3rd and 18. 4 receivers set for the Jets. Sanchez. Out route. It's intercepted. Mark Sanchez has it picked off. This time Nolan Carroll holds on, unlike a week ago.
Trying to get the ball in a deep out to San Antonio Holmes, and just an outstanding play by Carroll. Did not buy the route at all. Sanchez are trying to get the ball to number 10 down here. Holmes just kind of cruising here, was not expecting the ball, and that's a perfect strike to the wrong jersey.
So the rookie out of Maryland has his first career interception. And the pick problems continue for Mark Sanchez. 12th interception of the season. And Miami takes over with a 1st and 10 at the New York 42. Ricky Williams in the game along with Lou Polite. They'll hand it off for Williams. And Williams banging his way out across the 35-yard line. Bart Scott makes the play defensively. 8-yard gain for Mark Sanchez. Got off to such a strong start this season. First 5 games, no interceptions. Last 7, 11, and tack on 1 more after that pick.
And his confidence level's got to be at an all-time low. And talking to him on Friday, I could just sense that he was pressing not only in the games but in practice, trying to do things absolutely perfectly. And right now he's at a very low ebb.
Wildcat, Ronnie Brown. And he picks up 5 yards and a first down for Miami. And that has picked up for the Dolphins again with Dan Henning. They went away from the Wildcat for a long stretch of time, Dan, but now it's back in the game plan. It's been effective.
And it's going to be used again here on first down. That usage of the Wildcat on 2nd and short is absolutely perfect, because Brown is very good at running the option play and either giving it to Ricky Williams or keeping it himself. But we've yet to see him throw the ball very effectively this season.
In this version of the Wildcat, Henny is on the sideline, and it's Ronnie Brown taking the snap. He's going to do it himself. And Brown is stood up with a flag down at the 25-yard line. First 4 games, they ran the Wildcat 17 times. The next 4, only 3. And a hold against Miami. Now over the last 4 games, they've run the Wildcat 27 times, so it's really picked up as they're trying to get a little more creative on offense.
Well, part of the problem is when they played Tennessee, Pennington got hurt. Second play of the game, had to come out. Then Chad Henne hurt his leg, so they had to go to the Wildcat as kind of an insurance policy before they could put in Tyler Thigpen in the 4th quarter.
And Thigpen eventually helped lead Miami to a victory. They've alternated losses and wins over the last 9 games. A loss, then a win. Henne almost intercepted. Boy, Jason Taylor had it.
He's had 8 interceptions in his career. None this year. He'd probably never get a better shot at one than this right here. Does a nice job of fending off the block there of Cobbs. And then that ball hit him in both hands. Both quarterbacks struggling, and the rain hasn't hit. And it's not all that windy. They're combined 0 for 6 with 1 interception and 2 potential interceptions.
Now Sanchez hoping it doesn't cost his team any points after his interception on a 2nd and 20 now for Miami. Henne, deep drop, and throws it into the ground. Was there anybody there? Jets fans expecting a penalty. Sean Ellis with the pressure. And there's the flag. Very late flag after the officials huddled up.
Ricky Williams was the intended receiver on the screen. He didn't get out. We'll see what Ron Winter says.
We'll see it. We won't hear it.
You a rip leader?
What? Henne was not out of the pocket, and it didn't appear as if the ball reached the line of scrimmage.
This is Ricky Williams, and it's a screen pass that's set up for him. Henne sees the trouble there and just dumps the ball away. You see that all the time, so I'm sure the officials have picked up the flag. They're still discussing it, though.
So it's now 3rd down and 20. Marlon Moore is in as a 3rd receiver. They've lost Brian Hartline for the season. He's on IR with an injured finger on his left hand. Had surgery earlier this week. Neither quarterback has completed a pass so far. A combined 0 of 7. 3rd and 20 from the gun. Henne steps up. Henne to run. Breaks a tackle and slides down well short of a 1st down. NFL Today update. Let's head across the river to JB.
Ian and Dan in an AFC West battle between Kansas City and San Diego. It's Phillip Rivers up top, hooking up with Malcolm Floyd. 17-yard strike, capping a 10-play, 67-yard drive. 25th TD pass of the season for Rivers. San Diego on top. Back to Ian and Dan.
Well, JB, Chad Henne just scrambled for 11 yards, and that got Miami into field goal range for Dan Carpenter, who hit a 60-yarder last week, a new Dolphins record, from 47 yards away. And Carpenter drills it. Boy, he has been terrific this season, now in his 3rd year from Montana. Mr. Consistency for the Miami Dolphins. Carpenter turns the turnover into 3 points for the Dolphins. Holiday time at the Garden State Plaza in Paramus. My wife has spent a lot of time there. Dan Carpenter kicking off to Brad Smith, who will take it out of the end zone. And spun down as he crossed the 20-yard line. Mark Sanchez and the Jets overmatched by the Patriots on Monday night. The Dolphins trying to bounce back from their disappointing loss to Cleveland last week. Miami with a 3-0 lead 1st quarter here at the new Meadowlands Stadium. Welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. Ian Eagle along with Hall of Famer Dan Fouts. Very important for both of these teams. Obviously, the Jets just trying to get over the humiliation of Monday night, and for Miami, hoping to stay in the playoff chase right now in the AFC East.
And it was interesting that Rex Ryan elected to receive the ball after winning the coin toss today to give his offense a spark. Ooh,
yeah,
not very sparky, was it?
No, it wasn't sparky at all. Is that even a word, sparky?
It is if you're a Michigan State fan.
3-0 Miami in front. Neither offense has looked very good so far, and it's Sean Green getting the carry out across the 25-yard line. It's a 4-yard gain for Green. AFC playoff picture right now. New England at 10-2. Pittsburgh has improved to 10-3. Kansas City, no Matt Castle because of the appendectomy, and Jacksonville with the victory now at 8-5. The Jets 1 game behind New England. Baltimore at 8-4. They play on Monday night, and the Miami Dolphins at 6-6, trying to stay in it. Brad Smith with the Jets version of the Wildcat right now takes the snap, and he's hit hard by Cameron Wake. That fooled nobody. Loss of 2 on the play.
Cameron Wake, who leads the league in sacks, can also get the tackle for a loss here. This is the triple option here, and I think what happened there is Keller's supposed to block Wake right there. He gives him a little head fake, and Brad Smith's going to say, hey, enough with the head fake. Block that guy, will you?
So that goes down as a running play. It's not a sack for Cameron Wake, who was hoping to tack on 1 more. He's got 12 on the season. Now in his 2nd official year out of Penn State, but played in the CFL and was the Defensive Player of the Year twice for the British Columbia Lions. Sanchez loses the football.
Looked like Kendall Langford came all the way around the corner and popped the ball loose. And again, Sanchez, struggling with his confidence, was forced to move up into the pocket. And once he's moved off his spot in the pocket, bad things have happened to Mark Sanchez.
Quentin Moses on the recovery for Miami.
Here's Langford right here. Watch as he's battling against number 78, Wayne Hunter. Ball is popped loose, and there is a huge turnover. Second turnover of the first quarter for the Jets.
They brought pressure from Benny Sapp as well to get into the face of Mark Sanchez. And the Dolphins have it with a 1st and 10 at the 26 of New York. Penny throws it over the middle. Devon Best, the dependable one, down to the 20-yard line. And with Hartline now out, Best moves into the starting lineup, and Marlon Moore is the third receiver. Mark Sanchez, 5th turnover in the last 3 quarters of play, with the veteran Mark Brunell over there involved in the conversation.
You know, I've known Mark Sanchez for quite a while. Covered him when he was playing at USC, and he was always so confident and gregarious when dealing with the media. He's just right now, I've never seen him with his confidence so low.
Yeah, he looks shaken. Ronnie Brown is in. Wildcat faked the handoff for Williams. And it's Brown putting his helmet down and picking up a 1.5 yards.
That's probably the biggest problem with the Wildcat. There's no lead blocker for the tailback. The tailback, in this case, Ronnie Brown, has got to search his way along that line of scrimmage, looking for a hole. He just hasn't been able to find it between the tackles yet against this Jet defense.
Crowd getting involved now on a 3rd and 3 with the Dolphins in front, 3-0, 4:28 to play in the first quarter. 2 Jets turnovers to open things up. On 3rd down, Henny guns, and he's got Marshall. First down, Miami, as Marshall is stood up just inside the 10. Dolphins happy to have their weapon, Brandon Marshall, back in the fold.
Yeah, this is a good matchup size-wise. 6'4" Marshall against a 6'2" Cromartie. And that should be called against Marshall as pass interference. Ball was not in the air, so he can push Cromartie out of the way just like that. Takes the slant for 10 yards and a huge first down for Miami.
Brandon Marshall suffered that hamstring injury against the Chicago Bears, a loss to Chicago on Thursday night, November the 18th. Ronnie Brown once again will take the snap on a 1st and goal for the Dolphins. There's a hole for Brown. And Sione Boua, first man there for the Jets to limit Brown to a 3-yard gain.
At that time, the Dolphins pulled their left guard, Richie Incognito, to lead Brown to pick up those couple of yards.
So Chad Henne will come back on. The Miami Dolphins' 11th goal-to-go drive this season. It's the 2nd fewest in the NFL. Fasano and Mastrud. Double tight ends and a timeout taken. 2:58 to play, first quarter. Dolphins lead 3-0. Looking for more.
Well, why did the Jets call timeout? Well, they had 9 guys on the field. 9 on the 6-yard line. That's inexcusable.
Well, it's good for a baseball team. Not good for a defense.
No.
2nd and goal. Henne to throw. And throws it out of bounds. That one reached the front row.
That's a home run.
Sticking with the baseball theme.
Oh, that's Bartman, though. Well, he had absolutely nobody open, and instead of risking the interception.
Oh. Gastineau. Got to haul that one in. He's a defensive lineman, though. 3rd and goal now for the Dolphins. Nickel package here for the Jets. Dolphins trying to add to their lead. Henne throws. It's caught. Touchdown, Brandon Marshall. It's a 6-yard strike for Chad Henne. And the Dolphins taking advantage of the Jets' turnovers.
And Henne taking advantage of a mismatch he'd like to see all day long. Brandon Marshall guarded by number 57. That's Bart Scott. Eric Smith too late on the outside. Second touchdown against the Jets this year. Second against the NFL this year for Brandon Marshall.
That's one thing that hasn't happened for Marshall, getting into the end zone a whole lot. The extra point from Dan Carpenter. Miami, 10 points, all off of turnovers. They've got the lead. Two-time Pro Bowler Brandon Marshall with a touchdown, 6 yards. They traded 2 second-round picks to Denver to get him. And the second touchdown of the season for Marshall, both against the Jets, as Carpenter kicks it off. Brad Smith is going to take it out of the end zone. And Smith comes up short of the 25-yard line. Sanchez, last couple of weeks, turnovers are piling up.
Well, part of the problem in the New England game is just didn't see the field. And then he underthrows this one. But it's just a young quarterback trying to make something happen in desperation time. And now starting off very poorly, that interception and then the fumble. So for Mark Sanchez, his team, what he needs right now is just one first down to start feeling positive about his efforts.
And throw the elements into the equation now. It started to rain here in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Tomlinson getting the carry, met by Randy Starks. It's a 3-yard gain for LT. Sanchez, 5 turnovers now, last 3 quarters of play. And that's more than a drizzle.
Yeah, they're heading for cover right now, aren't they? I wish I had the Parka concession today.
2nd and 7, maybe not the yellow one.
I don't know. I like yellow.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Goes with the green and yellow of Oregon.
I was thinking San Diego. Sanchez. A little dart for Tomlinson. Soliai catches him. It's a loss of 1 on the play. Another update. It's head to New York right now. Check in with JB.
Ian and Dan in the winter wonderland that is Chicago. It's New England on the scoreboard first. When on 3rd and goal, Tom Brady hooking up with Rob Gronkowski. 7-yard strike. That capped a 12-play, 85-yard drive. Patriots on top. 7-0. That in the second. Ian and Dan.
It's like a hockey game broke out there in Chicago.
Yeah. How are they sure it was a touchdown? Exactly. 3rd and 8. And flags. That was Sanchez's first completion on the previous play.
False start. Offense number 78. 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
Now this is a nightmarish first quarter for the Jets, coming off the embarrassment on Monday night.
Yeah, the good news for Sanchez, he completed a pass. The bad news is it lost 1 yard.
Well, the story this week that Rex Ryan buried the game ball from the New England game. His father, Buddy, suggested the idea. Bill Belichick has done it as well. Rex saying that Buddy may have borrowed it from Pop Warner. Sanchez for Cotchery. And Jericho Cotchery breaking free. He's got the spot, and he's got the first down on the catch and run.
And this is exactly what Sanchez needs. An easy completion that results in a great effort by one of his teammates to pick up the first down. Look at 3 Dolphins are right there. Cotchery with a real sharp cut, and then he drags Jeremiah Bell forward for the first down. 15 yards. Great play by Cotchery.
New set of downs for the Jets to work with. First down of the day. Down to 22 seconds to go in the first quarter. Tomlinson running into a crowd. Kendall Langford, who had that forced fumble, was there to make the play, limiting him to a 1-yard gain. Let's go to JB in New York.
Ian and Dan, Drew Brees to Marcus Colston. Worked well for the Saints' first score. They do it a second time. Brees to Colston, 17-yard strike. 12 plays, 76 yards, 14-3. Saints, Ian and Dan.
And into the first quarter with Miami in front of the Jets, 10-0. First quarter numbers, neither offense has been particularly sharp, but Miami has made some plays defensively, and the Dolphins have been able to turn them into points.
Mark Sanchez has completed his last 2 passes for 14 yards, but this is the best feeling that they've had so far. 2nd down and 9 with better field position.
First play of the 2nd quarter. Take the handoff. Sanchez over the middle. He's got Braylon Edwards. Into Miami territory. That one covers 17 yards on the gun from Sanchez.
Yeah, it was a gun. It was a confident throw by Sanchez. In the slot is Edwards, and it's a blitz by the Dolphins, and they get burned by it. Ball gets right in behind Benny Sapp there. But that's the way you throw the ball across the middle, especially to a good tall receiver target like Edwards.
He was the only receiver that actually ran a pattern on that play. They isolated him on a handoff now. And Tomlinson struggling for extra yardage. He picks up 3 with Channing Crowder over there defensively. Got a sports fan on your gift list? CBSSports.com shop has officially licensed NFL gear and get 3-day shipping on every order. Just go to shop.cbssports.com. Brian Schottenheimer, this team ranked 12th overall in total offense, the offensive coordinator. And that close relationship with Sanchez. Mark Brunell is a big part of those meetings as well. The backup quarterback on a 2nd and 8. And Tomlinson nowhere to go. Carlos Dansby, first man there. What a season he's having. The inside linebacker for Miami. No gain on the play.
Now he's the leading tackler for the Miami Dolphins, and this is why. Watch as he just shrugs off the block. That was a block by Brandon Moore, and Dansby with another tackle. But this Dolphin defense, Mike Nolan, he knows the Jets very well.
Knows Buddy Ryan very well, who served under him in Baltimore when Nolan was the defensive coordinator. Sanchez on 3rd and 8 and almost picked off. Sean Smith in the breadbasket. Keller the intended target. Sanchez and the Jets are hearing it from the fans.
Well, what happened here is Keller stops his route. If he keeps going, that ball is right on target. But for some reason, Keller read that as zone coverage. He stopped his route. It was man-to-man. On man-to-man, you got to keep running. That's what Sanchez was expecting.
Steve Weatherford, who had a 12-yard punt last week against New England. And a flag down. Thrown at the 15-yard line on the near side of the field as that punt sailed to the far side.
It's going to be holding against Miami, against the gunner on the near side of the field. So this will back up the Dolphins inside the 5.
36-yard punt from Weatherford.
During the kick, holding number 21 the return team. Penalized half the distance to the goal. First down.
Vontae Davis called on the hold. Jets trail the Dolphins 10-0. You vote, they play. Send your favorite players to the 2011 Pro Bowl. Vote online or on your mobile phone. Go to NFL.com/Pro Bowl or search Pro Bowl ballot and vote today. Dolphins take over 1st and 10 at their own 3-yard line. Ricky Williams. And Williams carries for a 3.5-yard gain. Eric Smith, the safety who stepped in for the injured Jim Leonard, will be given credit for the tackle.
And in talking to Dan Henning yesterday, he felt that the edge that they have in this ball game is that if the weather does get bad, that Chad Henne's used to it, having grown up in Pennsylvania, played college ball at Michigan, and he has 2 veteran running backs handling the ball in Brown and Williams.
He's dealt with it more than Mark Sanchez has dealt with it, the quarterback of the Jets. And Williams unable to break free of David Harris. It's a 2-yard gain. This is one of 8 divisional games this week in the NFL, and a big one between the Jets and the Dolphins.
And in talking to Mark Sanchez about the weather last year, before the Buffalo game, similar type of conditions that we have today, he told me that he had never practiced football or played football in any weather colder than 50 degrees. That day was a disaster for him. 5 picks against the Bills and a loss.
Sanchez from Mission Viejo, California, Southern California kid. 3rd and 5 now for Miami. Crowd is vocal. Play clock is winding down. And he gets the play off. Incomplete. It was Bess working his way towards the sideline against Darrelle Revis. And the Dolphins will punt. Jets should have terrific field position.
Now, this is a catch that Devon Best normally makes. This ball thrown right out in front. This looked like he had trouble getting going after he got separation from Revis. Ball hit him in both hands.
Best has been one of the best third down receivers in the NFL. Fields to punt. Cotchery and Holmes are deep. This will be Holmes. Big punt from Fields, retreating back to the 30-yard line. Holmes has some room. And brought down at the 44 by Jonathan Amaya. 61-yard punt. 10-0 Miami leading the Jets. Still early in this second quarter. Damian Woody, the starting right tackle, sprained his right knee against Houston a couple of weeks ago. So we've seen Wayne Hunter in there, who's an excellent backup, a former defensive lineman, and formerly with Seattle and Jacksonville. 1st and 10 for the Jets. Sean Green taking it up the gut. And he gains 3 on the play. Channing Crowder the stop. Survivor Week kicks off on Wednesday when a family challenge brings out the best and worst in the survivors. New Survivor Wednesday and the season finale next Sunday, only CBS. Now looking at the last 6 quarters for Mark Sanchez, completing his passes at a 50% clip. Fake the handoff, moving pocket for Sanchez. And connects with Tomlinson, who got hit as he was angling out of bounds by Koa Misi, the rookie out of Utah.
Yeah, you're not supposed to hit future Hall of Famers in
Really?
the back going out of bounds like this. That could have been called a 15-yarder for a late hit. Right in the small of the back of LT.
It will be enough for a first down.
But that was smart play selection, too. That gets Sanchez on the move, and now it gets him all the way to the sidelines as the Jets go to their Wildcat.
And it's Brad Smith taking the snap from the gun. Smith probing. And not a whole lot there. It's a 3-yard gain for Smith. NFL Today update as we check in with JB.
Ian and Dan, New England just getting it done in Chicago. Take a look here. Johnny Knox on the receiving end of that pass. He fumbles the ball there, recovered by Gary Guyton of the Patriots. He returns it 35 yards for the score to make it 21-0 Patriots over Chicago. Ian and Dan.
Well, some people who thought maybe last week was an aberration, the Patriots and the Jets. Doesn't appear that way right now, the way New England is performing. 2nd and 7 for the Jets. Sanchez. Oh, loses the football. In the throwing motion, the ball loose out on the sideline. He took a hit from Cameron Wake. Sure looked like the arm was moving forward, though.
Well, but the ball came out backwards, Ian. Came out end over end. I think that's a good call by Ron Winter. That is not a forward pass. You can see it slipped. The ball, the hand is empty. Wake with the big shot right there. Heads up by the Jets to get after this ball. But the struggles continue for number 6.
So not an incomplete pass. That does go down as a fumble recovered by the Jets, and now a 3rd and 14. Sanchez throwing. On the out route for Keller, trying to extend his body. And it's going to be a little bit short. Now the Jets in no man's land, and you can hear in the background what the fans want to do.
Yeah, 80,000 or so that are braving this weather, helping Rex Ryan out with this call. And he's going to go for it as tight end Ben Hartsock comes into the game along with Tony Richardson. 4 out of 9 converting 4th downs for the Jets this season. This one is critical.
And Dan, they're doing it without Mark Sanchez. Brad Smith is in. Nick Folk has been unreliable as the place kicker. They go for it on 4th down. It's Sean Green running into a wall.
Short, way short.
The Dolphins looking every bit like the number 4 defense in the NFL. And the Jets turned it over on downs. Miami takes over. Second quarter action continues.
In the left circle is Channing Crowder. Right circle is Cameron Wake. Watch as they read this play. Crowder makes the tackle, beats the block of Tony Richardson, and Wake finishes him off.
That was really the only choice for Rex Ryan. They weren't going to punt from there, 37-yard line. It would have been a 55-yard attempt. Penny throwing and makes the connection with Anthony Fasano.
Now, you know, Ian, after last week's disaster against New England, all the Jets could talk about is that they have to start faster today. They have to execute better. That was an example of poor execution by a great lead blocker in Tony Richardson. His job is to take out Channing Crowder, and that would have given Smith the room to pick up the first down.
After the 5-yard gain on the completion of Fasano, 2nd and 5 now for Miami. Petty, look out! Oh, hit hard! Calvin Pace knocked the ball free. Jets claim they've got it. They'll peel off that pile. They do.
So give Pace credit for another sack and a forced fumble here.
Boua on the recovery, some shoving after the play. Bart Scott and Jake Long got into it.
And you know, Richie Incognito got in the middle of it too, as he's escorted to the sidelines by John Jerry. But Pace is totally unblocked. These are his feet right here. Watch how fast they are getting to the quarterback. Henny never saw him. Good call, fumble, ball out. Ronnie Brown trying to pick it up on the run. That cost the Dolphins possession of the ball. Brown could have dove on this ball and kept possession, but he lets it go right through his hands.
3rd fumble recovery of the season for Boua. Pace made the play with the sack. First down for the Jets at the Miami 38. Dolphins leading 10-0. Tomlinson keeps the legs churning, carries to the 35. Kendall Langford combining with Quentin Moses on the stop. So it's almost as if the Jets did get the first down on that 4th and 2. Considering where they have the football right now, it's a 2nd and 7. Tomlinson knifing his way. And a 3-yard gain.
Now you're hearing the boos because the Jets offensively have been terrible in this first half. Take a look at their first 5 possessions. This is not how you get things turned around. This is not a team that looks like they're 9-3.
And there has been no push up front for Brian Schottenheimer's offense. Right now he sends in a 6th offensive lineman, Robert Turner, number 75, in his 3rd year out of New Mexico. Holmes goes in motion on a 3rd and 4. We hit the 6-minute mark of this 2nd quarter. Sanchez a deep drop, pumping, throwing on the out route. Catch made by Holmes. And a first down for the Jets.
Yeah, it's Mr. Clutch. Pair of the best hands in the NFL. Santonio Holmes. Question is, does he get his feet inbounds? Oh, I don't know. That one leg looked like it was in the air as he slid out of bounds here. That foot looks like his left foot is in the air as he hits the sidelines. No challenge yet from Sperano.
And no challenge from Miami. So the Jets with a 1st and 10. Sanchez out of the pocket, trying to direct traffic downfield. And Sanchez out of bounds as Paul Soliai did not bite on the fake. No gain on the play.
You can't fault Mark Sanchez for his effort. Just not a whole lot of receivers open. Here's Braylon Edwards. Here is Edwards out of the back of the end zone. That does Sanchez absolutely no good.
Looks like the rain has stopped, at least for the time being, on a 2nd and 10 now. Play clock winding down. Sanchez, a floater. Oh, dangerous pass over the head of Sean Green. And this offense out of sorts. 3rd and 10.
One thing you don't want to do on a screen pass is rush it. You've got to be patient, lure the defense into you. But Sanchez gets back here 5 steps and then really doesn't give Green a chance to get out behind his blockers. Richardson in good position there along with Mangold.
The Jets averaging 28 points per game in their 9 wins, 4 points per game in their 3 losses. On 3rd down, Sanchez pumping, throwing, end zone separation. Oh, he dropped the ball. Santonio Holmes by himself.
Didn't somebody just say he has the best hands in the NFL?
I think I heard that.
He didn't use his hands, though. He was so wide open, he was just going to cradle the ball. Watch Holmes. Took his eye off the ball. That ball goes right through the breadbasket. But he doesn't reach out for it. Actually, the ball hits him in the shoulder. Oh, that's the way it's gone for the Jets lately, hasn't it?
35-yard field goal attempt. And Nick Folk drills it for the Jets. They're on the board, but it should have been 7. It's 10-3, Miami.
Santonio Holmes told us that double moves would work very well against the aggressive defensive backs of the Dolphins. That's Nolan Carroll. Hook, line, and sinker. Everything but the touchdown for Santonio Holmes. It is raining, but that's no excuse. Remember, you go back to the great catch he made on the sidelines just moments ago, and he can chuckle a little bit about it, but that one's got to hurt deep down inside.
And now it's raining harder than it has been over the course of the afternoon here into the early evening.
And you know, Ian, we've had a lot of crazy plays with turnovers and fumbles before this rain started to intensify. What are we going to get now?
All of the points in this first half have come off turnovers. Miami with a 10-3 lead on the Jets. 4:33 left. Second quarter. Folk kicking off. And it's Nolan Carroll who got beat on that play as the return man. Carroll looping it to the outside and hit down low. First down for Miami at its own 29-yard line. Ronnie Brown. And thrown down after he picks up 1 by DeVito and Boua.
Chad Henne's completed 4 of 10. 2 of those 4 have gone to this man. And Marshall getting physical with the Jets defensive backs. Tosses Cromartie out of the way there. Now takes on a linebacker, Bart Scott, for the touchdown. And he's had just outstanding numbers against the New York Jets. And the Dolphins really weren't sure if he could go today. He was listed as questionable with that hamstring as late as yesterday.
First meeting was a Sunday night game back in week 3, a 31-23 win for the Jets. Ronnie Brown hits the hole hard. Richie Incognito with a block, and it's an 8-yard gain for Brown. Sets up 3rd and 1 for Miami.
Yeah, less hesitation that time by Brown. He got a good hole on the left side behind Jake Long and Richie Incognito and hit it. And brings up a very manageable 3rd and short for the Dolphins.
Give you a feel for the conditions here. It is wet. 3rd and 1. Lou Polite. A helmet pops off, and that initial spot appears to be enough for a first down. Had to get to the 39-yard line.
Polite is a load at 6 foot even, 245, and he just drove straight ahead there.
Last season he was 11 for 11 on 3rd down and 1s.
And he got this one.
So Lou Polite, former Cowboy and Chicago Bear, excellent short yardage option for the Dolphins. They get the first down. 1st and 10, just short of the 40-yard line. Brown now in the backfield. And Ronnie Brown has wrestled down Boua. Occupying so much space up the middle, it's a loss of 1. Coming up, Sprint halftime report. JB and company have the latest NFL scores and highlights. It's all coming up on the Sprint halftime report. We're going to hit the 2-minute warning with Miami facing a 2nd and 11. The Dolphins on top of the Jets, 10-3. Mother Nature playing a role here at the new Meadowlands Stadium. Temperature 51 degrees. It's not cold, but the wind is a factor, and obviously the rain has picked up. 2nd and 11 for the Dolphins with 2 minutes to go in this first half. Penny on a draw play for Brown. Ronnie Brown, he fumbles the football. Brown took the running lane. He got hit by Scott and Poole. The Jets have it.
I think Jason Taylor's at the bottom of this pile with the fumble recovery. This is a good draw play for the Dolphins. Brown had some running room, but again it's slippery. Right between here is the running lane. There's the big shot there, and Jason Taylor, number 99, first on it as he wrestles the ball away from Brown at the bottom of that pile.
So that combination of Scott and Poole lodging the football free. Taylor on the recovery. Miami turns it over again, and the Jets take over, trailing 10-3 with 1:52 to play, first half. They're at midfield. From the gun, Sanchez throwing, low throw, and Tomlinson unable to haul it in. It'll be 2nd and 10.
It's been that type of day for Mark Sanchez. Been absolutely miserable so far. 6 of 13 for 64 yards. Started very poorly with this interception by Nolan Carroll. Then had the fumble caused by Langford. And then this is an oopsie-daisy right there out of the back of his hand. Not all his fault, though. Santonio Holmes dropping a touchdown.
3 receivers set now on a 2nd and 10. They handle the pressure. Sanchez throws and caught by Cotchery. First down into Miami territory across the 35. It's a 16-yard hookup working against Sean Smith.
And as you said, Ian, the key was that protection. Sanchez could really load up and throw this one to the outside. A deep out route by Cotchery. First down, Jets.
.142 to play, second quarter movement.
False start. Offense number 65. 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
And it's Brandon Moore, 4th penalty against the Jets. Damian Woody is out with that knee injury, will not return here this afternoon.
Every yard is just critical now with these wind conditions, rainy conditions, for a possible field goal by Nick Folk.
Shotgun for Sanchez. Running play. And Tomlinson hit down low by Smith. 3-yard gain. Looked like he had a head of steam, but he couldn't jump over Smith. Brought him down by the legs at 2nd and 12. So Nick Folk, coming into this game, had missed 6 of his last 11 field goal attempts. Sanchez. Cotchery, the intended receiver. It was intercepted out of bounds by Chris Clemens.
And again, a pass by Sanchez where a receiver can't haul it in. That ball is not that poorly thrown. It's right on the hands of Cotchery. Earlier in the drive, LaDainian Tomlinson couldn't bring in a pass that has got to be caught, so this young man can build some confidence. Get his team in the end zone.
Right now, they're staring at a 54-yard field goal attempt. They need yards here on a 3rd and 12 to get a legitimate field goal try. Sanchez steps up. Sanchez throwing on the move, trying to squeeze it in for Holmes. And Clemens there to break it up. Holmes was expecting a flag.
This is where Sanchez probably should have just taken off and run. He might not have picked up the first down, but he might have given his field goal kicker a chance at a shorter field goal here. That's great reaction by Chris Clemens.
And because of where they are on the field, Rex Ryan has a decision to make. Folk wanted an opportunity. He's not going to get it. Steve Weatherford is coming on. Last made field goal from 40-plus yards. You have to go back to the Denver game. So it was a 54-yard field goal attempt or a punt on 4th and 12. Weatherford Best lets it bounce. It takes a Jets roll, and it'll be downed inside the 1. 59 seconds to play after the 35-yard punt. Lowry getting downfield. Coming up, Sprint halftime report. James Brown and the rest of the crew. Latest NFL scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Sprint halftime report. Mark Sanchez. A lot talked about this week, the lunch meeting, quote unquote, with Rex Ryan. They never actually had any food on Thursday when Ryan met with Sanchez. Just wanted to make sure they were on the same page, and Rex was trying to lend a little insight from his defensive viewpoint of what Miami might throw at him.
And also the fact that Rob Ryan, his twin brother, just coached against the Dolphins last week.
You think they traded notes?
Perhaps.
On first down, Ronnie Brown banging his way inside. He picks up 3 yards.
Interesting to see if the Jets use one of their last 2 timeouts here. Apparently not. Boy, I would be using the timeouts. Keeps the pressure on the offense, backed up deep in their own end of the field.
So now 2nd and 7. Miami is in no rush here.
You know, you've got a wet ball being snapped up to a quarterback. Anything can happen down here.
So the Jets elect not to use their timeouts. Miami goes with Lou Polite, a rare 2nd down carry, and now they use the timeout with 13 seconds left in this first half. Miami up 7. Jets have 1 timeout remaining now with 13 seconds left. Obviously, Rex Ryan only had the 2 timeouts, so it was just a matter of him deciding when he wanted to use them, Dan.
And what he's probably thinking is that if the Dolphins have to punt, the Jets can fair catch and line up for a free kick and try to get 3 points that way. Folk does have a big leg, but on a free kick, no pressure on him.
On a 3rd and 4. And up the middle, Pace stopping Ronnie Brown along with David Harris, and there's the timeout with 8 seconds left. The question, where are they spotting the football?
It appears to be about half a yard shy. Need to get out to the 11-yard line. The ball is placed at the 10.5-yard line. Maybe about 7 or 8 inches.
They're going to measure it. That second burst by Brown got him very close.
Boy, now Sperano would have a decision, huh?
Final team timeout. A 30-second timeout.
Yeah, they're going to come up shy. Jets have used their final timeout. 8 seconds remain in the first half. Brandon Fields out to punt it for Miami. Jericho Cotchery standing at his own 40-yard line.
And I would suspect that Fields would not try to kick this ball high, get it low into the wind, and let it roll and let the time run out.
Jets have no timeouts remaining. It is a low kick. It bounces up in the air. Time is ticking away, and that's going to do it for this first half. That did not go the way Rex Ryan wanted it to. Dolphins 10, Jets 3 at halftime. We'll come back. The Sprint halftime report. It's coming up after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. The Jets were humbled on Monday night against New England. The struggles continue for their quarterback, Mark Sanchez, in the first half today against Miami. But for the Dolphins, trouble with turnovers. Penny coughs it up. Ronnie Brown with a fumble as well. As we get you ready for the start of the third quarter, it's Miami in front of the Jets, 10-3. Right now, let's take a look at the Droid Pro Play presented by Motorola.
Maybe it should be called the dread play, because this is not what you want to see. Fine double move by Santonio Holmes. He beats Nolan Carroll, but drops the ball after that fine pass by Mark Sanchez.
As the rain continues to fall here at the new Meadowlands Stadium, we're comfortable here in the broadcast booth, safe from the elements. Ian Eagle, along with Hall of Famer Dan Fouts. We saw a bunch of wild and wacky plays in that first half. Who knows how this game is going to be determined, but at some point one of these two offenses has to step forward.
Well, either that or when the defenses get a turnover, they're going to have to score with it, because it looks like both these offenses being so conservative because of their quarterback struggles and because of the elements. And you look at the numbers here, the Jets have the advantage, but of course the 10 points off turnovers, the 2 turnovers by Mark Sanchez, is the difference here in the first half. But there will be more turnovers. It's just up to field position now and somebody on either side making a play that'll make a difference.
Miami Dolphins come in 1-5 at home, 5-1 on the road, and they'll get the football to start this second half. Folk kicking it off. Nolan Carroll returning for Miami. Stutter step and brought down short of the 25-yard line for the Dolphins. 27-yard return. First half possessions for the Miami Dolphins. They got the field goal off a turnover. They got the touchdown off a turnover as well.
But since that point, punt, 2 fumbles, and ending the first half on a punt. You know, we go back to that play where the Dolphins kicking out of their own end zone, setting up a potential free kick opportunity. The Jets should have had 3 men back deep to catch that bad punt that turned out to be a great punt by Fields.
A must-win here for Miami to keep its playoff chances alive. Up the middle for Ricky Williams. And Williams out across the 30-yard line. It's a 6-yard gain. Pat McQuiston, who is in at right guard with a tackle up front. This is a Miami team that has missed the playoffs in 7 of the last 8 seasons.
And I'm sure that Tony Sperano, being the old offensive line coach that he is, has put the onus on his offensive line and the running game to be the difference here in the second half.
2nd and 4 now. Williams remains in the backfield. And Williams is hit as he crossed the 30 by Mike DeVito. Good penetration there for DeVito. Dolphins came in to New York a day early. They went to see the Broadway show Lombardi at the Circle in the Square Theater. And by all accounts, in chatting with the Dolphins in our production meeting, Stephen Ross, the owner of the Dolphins, made all the arrangements. They loved the play. The play, by the way, has been extended through March. Most of the Jets have seen it as well. Sanchez has been there twice. On a 3rd and 3. Henny to throw. Pumping and dumped. Rodney Poole. Dolphins will punt.
That's the first sack of the season for Rodney Poole. The safety blitz pays off for the Jets. Here he is right here. And he's totally unblocked. Good explosion there. Once Henny had to re-clutch on that ball, he was a dead duck.
David Harris, Bart Scott also in the area. Brandon Fields will punt it. Comes in averaging over 44 yards per kick. Santonio Holmes is deep. Flag comes down. Over the shoulder grab by Holmes. Cuts it upfield. And Holmes is brought down just across the 20-yard line. As mentioned, penalty marker on the play. Tim Dobbins with a special teams tackle. A 64-yard punt and an 11-yard return.
But the Dolphins went out of bounds. The gunner on that side went out of bounds by himself to avoid the block, and that's illegal participation penalty against the Dolphins.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 20, the kicking team, knocked out of bounds, did not return immediately. 15-yard penalty.
And once you get knocked out of bounds,
to re-kick.
Good decision to re-kick after that bomb by Fields, huh?
Rashad Jones, rookie out of Georgia.
Here's a call on the outside here. He's got 2 men to try to get away from, so you can hardly blame him for taking the wide route. But at this point, he's got to come right back onto the field. But he heads down the sidelines here. And that's where the flag will be thrown.
Darren Rizzi, special teams coordinator, took over earlier this season. John Bonamigo, the former special teams coordinator, was let go after the embarrassment against the New England Patriots. And now the Jets will make a change in the punt returning role. Antonio Cromartie has come on, not Santonio Holmes. It's Cromartie standing at the 35 and Cotchery in front of him at midfield, the 50-yard line. So Holmes now on the Jets sideline, and Fields will punt out of his own end zone. Another booming kick from Fields. Cromartie. Stop and go along that sideline and a spin move. And Cromartie hit at the 40-yard line. If he could have hurdled that one, it would have been extra yardage. 52-yard punt and a 16-yard return. 7-point game in Jersey. The offensive rut for the Jets has extended into this week. They trailed the Dolphins 10-3. And first possession of the second half for Mark Sanchez and company. 12:44 to go, third quarter. Take over at the 40-yard line. Sanchez, plenty of time. Underneath to Sean Green. Able to accelerate for an 8-yard gain. Dolphins with a 10-3 lead over the Jets. Here at the new Meadowlands Stadium, Jets come in at 9-3. The Dolphins are 6-6. Jets entered action one game behind New England in the AFC East. This was a very brash team, had a swagger, but they got humbled. Overmatched by the Patriots on Monday night. 45-3 loss. On a give for Green. Soliai and Dansby combined to bring him down. It's a loss of 1 on the play. Patriots at 10-2. The Jets are 9-3. Miami just clinging at 6-6, trying to stay alive. They have to get a victory here today in order to remain in the playoff chase.
Well, Miami will have some say as we go down the stretch. Their final game, of course, is at New England. It may be too little and too late by that time.
Double tight end set on a 3rd and 3 with Keller and Hartsock. Keller, the motion man. He's been quiet today. The passing game has been quiet. Sanchez, it's caught by Green. And turns it upfield for a big gain inside the Miami 40. 15 yards on the catch and run by Sean Green, the second-year running back from Iowa.
This is one of the things that Sanchez has struggled with, is ball placement. This is perfect placement. Watch as he gives the ball away from the defender, Dansby, and allows Green to make the catch, not lose any momentum, actually gain momentum with the catch, gets him up the field for a key first down.
Sanchez,
good throw.
Sanchez now 9 of 18, just over 100 yards. And it's a 1st and 10 at the 37 of the Dolphins. Green remains in the game, and he's got a running alley, but penalty marker down.
Ron Winter, our referee, threw the flag, looking right at a holding on that left side, perhaps.
And that's the side that Sean Green ran on.
Holding. Offense, number 84. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Hartsock had a big penalty in that first half when he grabbed a face mask on a potential good gainer. This time, just that type of penalty is like a momentum killer, though. The Jets are struggling to find any bit of momentum. They get the good pass from Sanchez to Green, and here's Hartsock holding on the outside. That's a good call, as he's got a hold of Koamisi.
So back it up. 1st and 20. 5th penalty called against the Jets, costing them 40 yards. Robert Turner has come on as an extra lineman for New York. Sanchez, play fake. And Sanchez throws it to the near sideline. Jeremiah Bell with the pressure on Sanchez. How did we get here? There's not a whole lot of offense to show you. The touchdown was Henne to Marshall, his 2nd of the season. The Jets thought they had a sure touchdown on the double move, but Santonio Holmes could not haul it in. 10-3, Miami in front of the Jets. Jets come in number 14 in the NFL in scoring, just over 22 points per game. Held to 3 in the loss to New England on Monday night. Held to 3 so far, with Joe McKnight getting an opportunity. And McKnight banged down. Out across the 45, Sean Smith ranged over, first man there. It's a 5-yard pickup.
You take a look at our game summary. Miami getting their points off of the Mark Sanchez interception and fumble. But the Jets continue to struggle on offense, and when you look down the road for the Jets, In their schedule, they have Pittsburgh, at Pittsburgh next week, and then at Chicago. Two superb defensive teams, although the Bears defense didn't show up in the snow today, did they?
First catch for Joe McKnight in the NFL. What a thumping that is. The New England Patriots taking care of business against the Chicago Bears. 3rd and 15 now for the Jets. Sanchez. Sideline. Holmes can't get it. And Vontae Davis with the coverage out on the perimeter. It's 4th down for the Jets.
But Mike Nolan told me, he says it's important to when you pass rush Sanchez, you come up the middle, force him off his spot. That makes his accuracy less effective, and you can see there he just misses Holmes on the sidelines by about a foot.
4th punt of the day for Steve Weatherford. Devon Best lets it bounce. Jets get down the field but cannot down it. Dwight Lowry got his hands on it. 42-yard punt, but a net of just 22. 10-3 Miami. Festive time of year, Rockefeller Center in Midtown Manhattan. Both of these teams have been in a giving mood. 2 turnovers for each. Miami's got a 10-3 lead over the Jets. And the Dolphins with a 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Play fake. Penny is sacked. It's Sean Ellis.
Yeah, you get the feeling that both these defenses now are going to continue to put pressure on these young quarterbacks. Here's Ellis. Look at the linebackers coming as well. Scott up the middle, and that just frees Ellis to beat the tight end block there. Coming over to try to get the block was Mastrud. 7-yard sack, not what the Dolphins needed to start this drive.
And the 3rd sack of the day for the Jets defense. A 2nd and 17 now for Miami. Draw play. Brown looking to get to the edge. And a flag down. He's ridden down at the 15-yard line by Calvin Pace.
They got Leiden Murtha for holding on the edge there.
Holding. Offense number 76. Penalties decline. Makes it 3rd down.
And Murtha in his 2nd year out of Nebraska getting the start for the injured Vernon Carey, but the Jets decline it with 8:33 to go in the 3rd.
Yeah, it looks like Murtha's going to be holding Sean Ellis. He's expecting the run to go up inside. Once Brown bounces it to the outside, Ellis had the edge set, and all Murtha could do was tackle him.
Penalty would have been only half the distance. The Jets would rather see Miami in a 3rd and 15. They go conservative on the pitch for Brown. He's got blockers, flag down. Brown accelerating and stays on his feet to the 25-yard line. Eric Smith there defensively. It's a 10-yard gain.
And it'll be holding, and I'm sure that the Jets will decline this to bring up a 4th down.
Holding. Offense number 19. Penalties decline. Makes it 4th down.
Brandon Marshall called on the hold, and the Dolphins will punt it in this 7-point game.
And punting's really not that bad of a thing to do in weather conditions like this. It's going to be a field position game, and Fields has had an outstanding afternoon so far. It appears that he's kicking into the wind, but it hasn't affected him at all.
Bridging the 2nd and 3rd quarters, Miami has had 3 straight 3-and-outs. Cromartie with a flag down, hit right away as he brought it in. Rashad Jones firing downfield.
And this is going to be holding against the Jets. Again, one of the gunners being held on the outside. So this will back up the Jets, add 10 yards to that 49-yard punt by Fields. Another beautiful punt.
Fields having a big day for Miami. So the Jets defense does its job. Special teams does not.
During a kick. Holding. Number 26 for the return team. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
And it's Dwight Lowry with the penalty on special teams. Cromartie hit right away. Tight one here at the Meadowlands. Including the New England game. 6 points scored for the Jets, 7 punts and 5 turnovers. That New England loss was the worst loss suffered by the Jets since November of 1986. They lost a Monday night game to Miami 45-3. This is the 90th all-time meeting between these two franchises, and the Jets lead with a mark of 47-41-1. You
can see our umpire keeping the ball dry. That's Tony Michalik. And he will wait to the very end to put the ball down. But what happens, you put it down in the water, and the quarterback has got to find the dry side of the ball. Now the center spins it, gets it all wet.
Nick Mangold will snap it to Sanchez with a 1st and 10 for the Jets from the 13. And a crowd there to meet Sean Green. No gain on the play. Let's head to New York. Check in with JB.
Ian and Dan, Bears are hoping that maybe this guy can help them out. That guy being Devin Hester on the kickoff return. Awesome moves on any kind of surface in any kind of weather. 61-yard kickoff return that set up a 1-yard TD run by Chester Taylor. Bears finally on the board. 36-7 New England. Back to Ian and Dan.
I think Hester could run on ice.
I think he just did.
Good point. 2nd and 10 now for the Jets. Sanchez deep drop. Looks. Sanchez hit as he throws. Almost intercepted. Poor decision by Sanchez. Sean Smith almost had the pick. Cameron Wake put the heat on Mark Sanchez.
And I think that's the hat trick for Sean Smith. 3 potential interceptions. Very first pass of the day by Sanchez was dropped by Smith. That was a tough catch there, but he could have got his hands underneath it. Cameron Wake, who leads the NFL with sacks, battling against Wayne Hunter there, and he causes this poor decision to be almost a disastrous decision by Sanchez.
Sanchez 10 of 22, 108 yards and an interception. 3rd and 10. Rush is coming. Sanchez ducks, throws on the move. Incomplete. And Cotchery had room to work in front of him. Sean Smith over there defensively for Miami. The Jets go 3 and out.
Yeah, but Sanchez is competing. He ducked under. Jeremiah Bell stepped up in the pocket and threw another ball to Sean Smith. Sean Smith at the very end of this is going to lay out here and just get enough of this ball, or Cotchery is in the end zone here. Great play by Smith.
Weatherford, the punt to Bess. And Miami is going to have outstanding field position with 6:46 to go in the 3rd. Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, our producer Bob Monsbach, director Suzanne Smith, and the rest of our CBS crew. Miami in front of the Jets 10-3 with 6:46 to go in the 3rd quarter. And the Dolphins at the Jets' 49-yard line to open up this drive. They have 10 passing yards today. Henny, deep ball. Fasano, the New Jersey native, with a leaping grab.
Boy, and Eric Smith is slow to get up. He's not even getting up. You can see Fasano on the side here. He knows the hit is coming. Watch as he cradles the ball and protects it away from Eric Smith with this big hit. That's a heck of a catch by Fasano. Just what Chad Henne and the Dolphins needed. Keep your eye, though, on Eric Smith. He's still groggy.
And keep your eye on Ronnie Brown, who is in for the Wildcat. Brown slithering through that hole. And he's brought down after the gain of 2. Bart Scott got him down low along with Calvin Pace, toppling him over. And Henne will come back on with 5:50 to go in the 3rd.
That was not well executed at all. It looked like they didn't exactly know what they were doing. Ricky Williams coming in short motion back to Brown, and Brown chuckling about it on the sidelines.
2nd and 8. Williams stays in there. Marshall goes in motion. On a pitch. Williams trying to get to the outside. Lost the ball on that pop. Antonio Cromartie over there.
Yeah, Cromartie got his legs, and then Rivas came and cleaned him up. Knocked the ball out of his hands, but knocked it out of bounds. And that's a helmet-to-helmet hit, but that is not a defenseless player. Ricky Williams is a running back. He has the right to lower his head. So does Darrelle Revis.
126 total yards of offense for the Miami Dolphins. This is a 3rd and 7. Henne lost the ball, tried to exchange it, and it's loose. Scooped up by the Jets. On the recovery, it is big Sean Ellis.
And the killer about all this, Ian, they were in field goal range for Dan Carpenter. He said the ball may be wet, but that just squeezed right out of Henne's hand. Henne has big hands too, but that pigskin was wet. Dolphins are lucky that Brodney Poole didn't just scoop this up and run it all the way back for a touchdown. He loses his footing right there, but boy, what a bad break for Chad Henne.
So it's Poole on the recovery for the Jets, trailing by 7 with 4:38 to go. LaDainian Tomlinson out to the sideline, and Tomlinson may be a half a yard with Chris Clemens over there.
That's the first turnover of the second half. The first half was a disaster. Sanchez getting picked there, now having a fumble that's recovered by the Dolphins. Henne gets blindsided there, and it's been that type of afternoon, and the weather really hasn't been all that bad.
No.
It's easy for us to say.
Well, the results have. And if Miami gets a field goal there, it's a 2-score game, which might be enough, considering the way these offenses have performed. Tomlinson busting it to the outside. And angled out of bounds, out across the 45 by Benny Sapp. It's a 5-yard pickup.
That's one of the major concerns for Tony Sperano coming into today's game. Dolphins allowed 146 yards rushing in game 1. And most of those plays came on the perimeter, as LT showed that time, a little burst to get to the outside.
Under 4 minutes to go now in the 3rd. Tomlinson has been held to 36 yards on the ground. Sean Green, 5 carries for 7 yards. Jets are 3 of 12 on 3rd down conversions. Now 3 of 13. Cotchery can't secure it. Vontae Davis is there. So even after the turnover, whatever momentum the Jets felt they were building, it is quickly thwarted by the Miami defense.
Yeah, that's been the difference so far. The Dolphins have converted their takeaways into points. The Jets have missed that opportunity.
4th straight punt for Steve Weatherford. Bess, there was contact on the fair catch.
There's got to be a flag on that. Joe McKnight right in the way, or was that Dwight Lowry?
Josh Maga got down the field, and it was McKnight. No harm.
Jets get a huge break here. Devon Bess comes up, and he will signal for a fair catch after telling everybody to get out of the way. Joe McKnight prevents him from making the catch. That's got to be a 15-yard penalty against the Jets.
So Miami has the football, 1st and 10 at its own 14-yard line. Henne dials up the deep ball, and it's broken up. Brandon Marshall matched up with Antonio Cromartie.
Again, this is a real good matchup for the Jets. Cromartie at 6'2". Actually, he gets up in the air higher than the 6'4" Brandon Marshall here.
Chad Henne is now 5 of 12, 55 yards and a touchdown that he threw in the first half to Marshall. 2nd and 10 for the Dolphins. Roberto Wallace in the game, a receiver. Rookie out of San Diego State. Long count for Henne. Henne fires, incomplete. Try to hit Marlon Moore. Darrelle Revis drew the assignment.
And Antonio Cromartie just went off the field holding his left arm. So we'll see how they match up now with Brandon Marshall.
And a timeout. Kyle Wilson came in to replace him. 10-3 Dolphins.
The father and son road trip. Just a little imagination and you're good to go. Desert highways, scenic vistas, overly active wildlife. Did they just build a souvenir stand that sells extra hair? Nice. Yes, when you build together, the possibilities are endless. So, gentlemen, hold on to your hats and start your Lego road trip today at BuildTogether.com.
We'll go back 2 plays to that jump ball for Brandon Marshall. Watch Cromartie come down. Watch his left arm. Now watch the shoulder. He stayed in 1 extra play, but that shoulder's hurting him now.
But he's back on the field for the Jets.
That's toughness, isn't it? And the rain coming down hard.
Oh, it has really picked up now. 3rd and 10. Fans on their feet. Penny to throw. Underneath. And Marshall can't hold on. The Dolphins will punt.
Now, we talked about the struggles of Mark Sanchez with ball location. Here's a good example of Henny having problems getting the ball to where his receiver can make the catch and run for the first down. That ball thrown poorly behind Marshall. And with all this rain, very difficult for Marshall to make that catch.
Looking for an MVP today. Right now it's been Brandon Fields. Miami had the ball a grand total of 17 seconds on that possession. Holmes is deep. Got a lot of room to work with here. Holmes to the 30. And then heads out of bounds shy of the 35-yard line. An injured Dolphin on the play is Nolan Carroll. He is on the Jets sideline.
Boy, it looked like he got tripped by one of the members of the Jets staff.
And a break in the action.
Well, this is just uncalled for in the NFL. Watch the knee here being stuck out on purpose to trip up Nolan Carroll. Not sure who that person is, but they should be ashamed of themselves for that type of action. That has no place in any athletic event.
And it's Carroll able to get up and walk off to the Miami sideline, clear across the field. Nolan Carroll, speedy cornerback, suffered a broken leg in 2009. 5th-round draft pick. Meanwhile, the Jets take over with a 1st and 10 at their own 34-yard line. 2:58 to go. We're in the 3rd quarter. Take another look at it.
Now, Carroll may have a Charlie horse, but that knee comes out. And just as Carroll goes by, it's probably got a little bit of a Charlie horse because he gets hit right in the thigh between the thigh pad and the knee pad.
Ten 3. 1st and 10 for the Jets. Tomlinson in the backfield. And LaDainian Tomlinson able to move it forward for 3 yards. Channing Crowder with a tackle for Miami. Mark Sanchez's day, 10 of 24, 108 yards for Mark Sanchez. This is coming off the 17 for 33 performance against New England, 164 yards and 3 picks. Jets number 4 in the NFL in rushing. They haven't been able to establish it. Sanchez. Oh, he dropped it in the bucket for Keller. 1st down Jets to the 44-yard line of Miami. It covers 18 yards.
Sanchez will compete now. You know, he's had his struggles of late, but he's got pressure right in his face. And this is a great throw, dropping it in behind the linebackers. And Keller going down to make the catch and moving the ball into Dolphin territory. Big play.
Down to 1:50 to go in the third. That's the Jets' longest play of the day, 18 yards. Tomlinson trying to work his way. It's a 3-yard gain off tackle. Tim Dobbins will get credit for the stop.
Yeah, a couple of former teammates in San Diego. Tim Dobbins, linebacker, and of course the great LaDainian Tomlinson. And reacquainted.
51 rushing yards today for the Jets. And a 2nd and 7 now. Sanchez up in the air, one-on-one. Edwards and Vontae Davis had as much of a chance to catch that football as Edwards did. Braylon Edwards has been invisible so far today.
Yeah, Vontae Davis with great position on this play. He's got him to the inside. He looks back for the ball. Edwards trying to hold him back with his left hand. And yet Davis strong enough to jump through that grab. That should have been called pass interference against Braylon Edwards. He had his hand on Davis's back for about 5 yards down the field. That would have been a horse collar pass interference.
3rd and 7. Working from the gun. Sanchez. And that ball deflected. Philip Merling among the Dolphins that got penetration on that defensive line, and it's 4th down.
There's Merling right in the middle along with Tony Brown. Right, Tony McDaniel. Tony McDaniel blocked a pass earlier in this ball game.
Weatherford punting for Devon Bess. They crowd him again. This time they give him a chance to catch it, though, at the 10-yard line. And field position playing such a large role after that 30-yard punt. Ring in the new year. The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame meet Miami. The Hyundai Sun Bowl, December 31st on CBS. These two teams, of course, heated rivals back in the 80s and 90s. And now they meet again New Year's Eve here on CBS.
And Miami with a new head coach. Or rather, Florida Gators with a new head coach. Miami's still searching for one.
Rain is really coming down now. It was not a factor early in this game. Picked up in the first quarter. Stopped for a stretch. And is playing a large role here. Chad Henne on 1st down. And he put it over the head of Devon Bess. Out of bounds.
I'm not so sure why he threw that ball so far out of bounds. Bess was open on the sidelines being guarded by the linebacker, Calvin Pace. He tries to out to the sidelines. The pressure, he didn't have much pressure, and this ball just goes all the way to the replay booth.
I don't think they want to replay that one. 2nd and 10. 57 seconds to go on the third. Dolphins with a 7-point lead. It's Ricky Williams. And stonewalled by Brian Thomas. It's a 1-yard gain. Fireman Ed trying to get this crowd up on its feet with 37 seconds left and the clock moving here at the end of the third quarter.
Didn't Fireman Ed have better seats in the old stadium?
I think he did.
He's back in the end zone.
Third and 9. Brown and Williams on the field for Miami. Play clock is down to 1. They didn't get the play off. So back it up.
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
You know, which team can make the worst mistake? I mean, this is getting to be ridiculous with the turnovers and the sloppy play.
Miami came in the fewest penalty yards in the NFL. 2nd fewest penalties next to Atlanta. That'll be the end of the third quarter. 10-3 Miami on top of the Jets. Start of the fourth quarter here at the new Meadowlands Stadium. Miami with a 10-3 lead over the Jets. Ian Eagle along with Dan Fouts. Ugly conditions ugly football.
Ugly, ugly, ugly. Yeah, you know, you're almost waiting for somebody to have a turnover.
Yep.
And it appears that the defense is going to have to win this game. The Jets offense has struggled again. Miami's offense is starting to play just like the Jets offense.
What's on the line here? Miami is 6-6. Just trying to stay in the playoff picture. The Jets 9-3, trying to regain their confidence after taking that big hit on Monday night against New England. This is a 3rd and 14 to open up the 4th quarter. Henny to throw. Out of the pocket. Henny throwing on the move, tried to squeeze it into Devon Bess. And it's 4th down. Bart Scott over there defensively. AFC playoff picture. New England, Pittsburgh, Kansas City, Jacksonville, the division leaders. The Jets at 9-3, Baltimore at 8-4, currently in the wild card spots, and the other teams still in the hunt. Indianapolis, San Diego, Miami. Oakland took a tough loss against Jacksonville. Antonio Cromartie is deep. Brandon Fields, another huge kick. Off the bounce, hits Cromartie. Slowed down and then brought down. Forward progress will put him at the 35-yard line. A 69-yard punt for Fields. He's having his way here at the Meadowlands today. How does the Jets quarterback Mark Sanchez spend his time during the punt? Working on the bike.
Trying to get warm.
8 straight quarters without an offensive touchdown now for New York. And a 1st and 10 at the Jets 35. From the gun, quick strike. And he's able to hit Cotchery in stride out near midfield. 14-yard gain. Talked about the AFC playoff picture. Still plenty up in the air in the NFC as well. Atlanta 11-2, best record in the NFC. Chicago taking it on the chin against New England. Philadelphia and St. Louis, the other division leaders. Sanchez now 12 of 28, 140 yards and a pick. First down from the 49. Back to the ground game. It's Sean Green with a spin move into Miami territory. 6-yard gain. Tony McDaniel on the stop for Miami.
A little better tempo now for the Jets as they're getting in and out of the huddle faster. Sanchez appears that maybe the bike did work a little bit on the sidelines there.
Really?
It was a good pass on first down. He looked like he got back quickly and got rid of it.
You think there's a cause and effect?
I wouldn't use the bike between plays, but you know, when the defense is out there.
2nd and 4. Take the handoff, bootleg for Sanchez. And Sanchez will run. Mark Sanchez does it himself and gets a first down inside the Miami 40-yard line.
That's a heads-up play by Sanchez because he really didn't have anybody wide open. And with these conditions, if nobody's wide open, you're probably better off just tucking it under your arm and taking off with it. Knew what he needed, went head first after a 6-yard run and picked up the first down.
A Jets win would give them double-digit wins for the 10th time in franchise history. First time since 2006. They trailed 10-3. Sean Green running into traffic. It's a 1-yard gain. Channing Crowder with a tackle.
Yeah, it's been a tough day for Mark Sanchez. First pass was knocked down by Sean Smith, and that one was picked off. Almost picked off. Sean Smith's had a rough day, too. Antonio Holmes dropping a sure touchdown. But the Jets with real good field position now. They need to get it into the end zone, trailing by 7.
Down to 12:22 and counting left in this 4th quarter. Green in the backfield on a 2nd and 9. Sanchez over the middle, and it's complete to Keller. Hit by Channing Crowder. That's a 5-yard pickup, and it brings up 3rd down for New York.
And 3rd downs have not been good for Sanchez, and the Jets just 3 of 14 so far. Dolphins not much better, 3 of 12.
Nolan Carroll is on the field for Miami, so that injury that occurred along the sideline on special teams earlier has not kept him out of action. On a 3rd and 5 for the Jets from the gun. Sanchez wants to get rid of it quickly. Incomplete. Keller the intended target, and the Jets find themselves in no man's land once again Sean Smith in coverage for Miami.
Boy, I just don't understand this play selection. Even if the ball is caught along the sidelines, it's going to be way short of the first down. All the momentum the receiver would have carried him out of bounds.
They're going to go for it on 4th down.
Might as well.
It would be a 52-yard attempt. It's been pretty obvious that they're not trying it with these conditions and with Nick Folk and his inconsistency. Shotgun formation on 4th and 5. Sanchez, incomplete. Santonio Holmes, the intended receiver. Jets turn it over on downs here in the 4th. Just sheets of rain here at the Meadowlands today, and Miami has a 10-3 lead on the Jets. They get the football after the Jets are unable to convert on 4th down. Ronnie Brown on a stop and go for 3 yards. Mike DeVito with a stop.
Go back to the 4th down play. This is double coverage. This is Carroll and this is Clemens, and Sanchez trying to squeeze it in here to San Antonio on the outside, but Carroll knows he's got help deep. He's not going to run with him down the field. He's in perfect position, and Sanchez had no place to throw the ball.
3 losses for the Jets this season. Week 1, they lost 10-9 to Baltimore. Week 8, 9-0 to Green Bay, and then last week the blowout loss at the hands of New England. Ronnie Brown taking the snap, and he threw it to Marshall. Juggles and unable to haul it in. Bart Scott helped make sure of it. That's one thing that we have not seen a whole lot of. That's just the 2nd attempt of the season for Ronnie Brown throwing the football.
We may not see much more after it either. Although it's not that bad, it's just kind of slow. And it took forever to get out to Marshall. Marshall knows that Revis is on his way, as is Bart Scott. He still should have caught the ball.
38 passing yards today for Miami. 3rd and 7 for the Dolphins. Henny. Oh, in tight space, he could not get it to Bess. And you saw 3 green jerseys in the area, and that included Bart Scott.
Yeah, Bart Scott's had a busy day defending passes. Here's Scott way over here. Watch, he's going to look up Bess coming on the crossing route. Lowry had Bess to the outside. Here's our MVP of the day, Brandon Fields.
Had a 69-yarder on his last attempt. Jericho Conchery is deep. Rex Ryan has been rotating with Mike Restoff. And Conchery brought down Rashad Jones in this battle of field position. Miami wins out. It's a 54-yard punt and a loss of 2 on the return. Good play by Jones.
This could be a disastrous decision by Jericho Conchery catching this ball on this wet field. If he lets it go, chances are it's going to slide into the end zone. The Jets would have the ball on the 20. As it is, the ball is at the 7. 13-yard difference here.
10:35 to play. Sean Green gets the call, and Green takes it 3 yards to the 10.
I mean, this is a game of field position right now, and it's all in the Dolphins' favor with the Jets backed up inside their 10.
The Jets have the highest percentage of rushing on 1st and 10 in the league. They do it 64% of the time. That sets up 2nd and 7 now as Green remains in there. Holmes on the outside, Edwards the motion man. 2nd down for the Jets. Sanchez in the pocket, low throw, handled, and Green able to turn it upfield. Very close to a 1st down, and Green still down. Channing Crowder with the hit.
Yeah, this is a poor throw by Sanchez, and it exposed Green to that hit. Remember when he threw the ball earlier in the 3rd quarter, it allowed Green to catch the ball and get up the field. Well, Green did a heck of a job just being athletic enough to spin around, make this catch, and then absorb this shot from Crowder.
Training staff dealing with Sean Green will step aside here in the 4th. Trying to keep the footballs dry. Sean Green able to walk off on his own. And a handoff for Tomlinson. It's enough for a 1st down. It was 3rd and short. Jets are able to convert it. Green appears to be okay. Combined numbers today: 15 punts, 16 first downs now, 10 penalties, 5 turnovers, and just 13 total points. Well, Sean Green is now heading down the tunnel into the Jets locker room, with the Jets trailing the Dolphins 10-3. Tomlinson and Richardson in the backfield. Fake the handoff. Sanchez guns, incomplete, sliding attempt by Santonio Holmes.
Good pressure that time on Mark Sanchez. He stepped up into the pocket. And he's going to be harassed. Kouamisi coming. And now it's Crowder and from the bottom, Quentin Moses. That caused that ball to be just out of the reach of Holmes.
Henny has thrown it 17 times. Sanchez doubled that number nearly with 33 attempts. 2nd and 10. Running play. Tomlinson is dropped. Quentin Moses. He's been an impact player. Former 3rd-round pick of the Oakland Raiders back in 2007. Had a cup of coffee with Arizona as well.
Boy, he's in the backfield so quickly here, totally unblocked. And again, it's he and Crowder make the play.
And now a 3rd and 13 for the Jets. Miami comes in allowing just 3.7 yards per carry. That's 5th best in the NFL. 3rd and long. Sanchez with a deep drop. Out of the pocket. Sanchez will try to run for it. It's a race to the line. And a dive by Sanchez. He's got it. Cameron Wake giving chase. 14 yards.
That's a great effort by Mark Sanchez. He had no receivers on this side of the field. Getting tired of getting hit in the pocket. He takes off here. And this is what you love about the guy. This all-out effort to pick up that 1st down.
So a fresh set of downs for the Jets to work with. Needed 13. He got an extra yard. Down to 7:44 to play in the 4th. Miami with a 10-3 lead on the Jets. Handoff. It's Tomlinson. They have not been able to establish the run here, with Kendall Langford making the play defensively. It's a 3-yard gain. 82 rushing yards for the Jets. They came in averaging over 148 rushing yards per game.
And Tomlinson is going to have to be the guy, because Sean Green's in the locker room now. Tomlinson 17 carries for just 45 yards against this Dolphin defense.
They also have Joe McKnight, 4th-round pick, rookie out of USC, multi-purpose back. 2nd and 7 now. Shotgun. Sanchez. Holmes is out there, and he hauls it in. Santonio Holmes. Full extension. 42 yards.
Well, this is a time of game where Santonio Holmes makes the big play for the Jets. Pushes off on Smith just slightly there. Lays out and uses those great hands. He had that embarrassing drop in the 1st half. Not going to happen twice to Santonio Holmes. Great throw as well by Sanchez.
They set it up with a 1st and 10 at the Miami 26. Back to the ground game. Tomlinson cuts it. And Tomlinson didn't have much room to work with. 2.5-yard gain. Carlos Dansby with the tackle. Big plays this year. Week 9 at Detroit. Final drive in overtime. Holmes, 52-yard catch, sets up the field goal for the Jets win. Week 10 at Cleveland. Holmes, game-winning 37-yard touchdown. The Jets a winner, 26-20. And then week 11 against Houston, the game winner once again for the New York Jets.
They told me you have to embrace the moment, not shy away from it. Go for it.
5:40 to play. Jets trail Miami by 7. Sanchez slings it. And Keller was over there. Sanchez unable to put that one on time, and now the Jets face 3rd down.
Boy, he throws a great pass to Holmes, and then here he's got a shot at his tight end Keller against Jeremiah Bell on the outside, and this one's not even close. This is where the Jets have really struggled today on third downs. Just 5 of 17.
Sanchez, 15 of 35, 192 yards, and an interception. 11th play of the drive. Longest drive by either team. Sanchez throwing it and knocked down. Sean Smith. And it's 4th down. Dustin Keller, the intended receiver. They are looking at a 42-yard field goal attempt.
And Sean Smith, who's been battling a bad ankle throughout the week. He was questionable before this game. He's had his hands on half a dozen balls this afternoon.
So on 4th and 8, Rex Ryan decides to try the field goal. Nick Folk. From 42 yards away, Weatherford will hold it. And Folk has got it. 10-6 Miami. 5:21 left in this 4th quarter. Battle in the AFC East here at the New Meadowlands Stadium. The Dolphins 10, the Jets 6. 5:21 remaining in this 4th quarter. Dolphins interaction at 6-6. The Jets are 9-3. Not a lot of offensive highlights to show you. Henny to Brandon Marshall, the only touchdown of the day. This one looked to be a touchdown, but Holmes unable to bring it in for the Jets. A drop in the end zone. A couple of Nick Folk field goals. Carpenter with a field goal as well for Miami. The Miami Dolphins have just 131 total yards. Yet Tony Sperano's team is leading Mark Sanchez and the Jets 10-6 with just over 5 minutes to play.
Santonio Holmes with a 42-yard reception. It's a key to that last drive. As you said, Ian, it was the longest drive of the afternoon, but the Jets again out of the end zone could only manage the field goal from Folk.
Folk will now kick it off. Nolan Carroll is back deep for Miami, standing at his own 3-yard line. 10-6. Returnable for Carroll from the 2. Avoids 2 tackles and then brings it out across the 25-yard line for Miami. A 24-yard return. For those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS, the game between the Dolphins and the Jets. Ian Eagle along with Dan Fouts and the rest of our CBS crew. Miami on top of the Jets, 10-6. 60 minutes will be seen immediately after the game, except on the West Coast, where it will be seen at its regularly scheduled time. 5:14 to play. 1st and 10 for the Dolphins at the 26-yard line. Handoff for Ricky Williams, steamrolling his way to the 30-yard line for a 4-yard gain. Matt Kroll with a tackle for the Jets. The Jets 9-3, a game behind the New England Patriots. The Dolphins 6-6. They could actually be eliminated from playoff contention with a loss here and a Baltimore win on Monday night.
Their mission right now is just 1st downs. Keep the clock rolling.
2nd and 6. Deep drop for Henny. Henny in some trouble. Gets out of it initially and then brought down. Boua for New York.
Now first man in was David Harris. Rex Ryan deciding to bring the pressure on Henny. And Boa right in the middle here is going to get the sack, but it's number 52 coming right up in the middle here, getting away from Ricky Williams, forcing Henny up into the pocket, and say goodbye. That's the 4th sack for the Jets this afternoon. That one was huge because it sets up a very difficult 3rd down conversion try for Henny.
It's a 3rd and 12. Henny has been limited to 55 passing yards today. Fake the handoff. Henny was trying to throw the screen. Incomplete over the head of Ronnie Brown out in the flat. And the Dolphins go 3 and out with Calvin Pace and Brodney Poole supplying the pressure on Henny.
Brandon Fields has had a great day. There's no question about that, averaging well over 55 yards a punt. But remember, the Jets did block a punt back in game 1 on Fields.
Antonio Cromartie is deep. Brandon Fields with a punt. Cromartie backpedals to the 20. Cromartie hit at the 30, and he's buried there. They'll spot it just shy of the 30 after the 56-yard punt. Tim Dobbins downfield to make the play. Tonight on CBS, it's all new, beginning with 60 Minutes. Jerry Jones interview, owner of the Dallas Cowboys. That'll be followed by the finale of The Amazing Race and new episodes of Undercover Boss and CSI Miami. That's tonight, only CBS. Jerry always has something interesting to say. Looking forward to that.
Absolutely. Looking forward to seeing what Mark Sanchez could do with 3 timeouts and needing to get a touchdown to win this ball game.
Now, they've been the cardiac kids throughout the season. Do the Jets have another rally in them? They trail Miami 10-6 with 3:40 to go in the 4th. Shotgun, Sanchez pumping, throws the other way, and it's incomplete. Tried to get it to Keller. And Cameron Wake over there defensively.
You know, it's a screen pass, and he just threw the ball too hard for Keller. Keller is what you call slow blocking on the play, trying to delay the rush on Sanchez. He turns around, that ball just zipped right by him. Keep your eye on Mr. Clutch, though. Here's Santonio Holmes.
2nd and 10. Sanchez rifles, knocked down. We've seen a number of those today. Mark Sanchez unable to get it over the defensive line, and Carlos Dansby that time applied the pressure. 3rd and 10 for the Jets.
Here's Dansby right here. It's going to be a slant route to the left side to Holmes. That's just athletic ability. In fact, that ball hit him in the throat.
4 straight incompletions for Sanchez. Henny has 7 straight incomplete passes. On 3rd down, Sanchez throwing, and Keller. The throw was offline as Keller tried to bring it in with the right arm.
And that's really been a problem for Sanchez's ball location. We've seen a couple of times when he's put it okay, but Keller on the right side of the screen, ball going to be thrown to his back shoulder here. If it's thrown out in front, Keller with his speed may take the ball the distance.
Now the Jets have to punt here. They do have 3 timeouts remaining. Steve Weatherford punting to Devon Bess. Fair catch called for, and the Dolphins will have it at the 19-yard line in a 10-6 ball game with 3:19 to go. That was a 51-yard punt from Weatherford. Just a reminder, 60 Minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately after this game, except on the West Coast, where it will be seen at its regularly scheduled time. The New England Patriots get the win, a blowout victory over the Chicago Bears. So the Patriots have clinched a playoff berth in the AFC and moved to 11-2, putting some space between them and the Jets potentially, depending upon what happens over the final 3 minutes and change. Ricky Williams, the ball carrier. Second effort by Williams to get it across the 20. And it's a 3-yard gain for the veteran Williams. Bart Scott, Matt Kroll there to bring him down.
See the 3 timeouts remaining for the Jets. Question now is, when will Rex Ryan use his timeouts?
Miami, 99 rushing yards on the day. 32 passing yards. 2nd and 7 now. Down to 2:42 left in the 4th. Williams. Little shake and bake move out across the 25-yard line for a 4-yard pickup. Brodney Poole got him down low. It'll set up 3rd down, and a timeout used at the 2:33 mark of the 4th.
Yeah, of course, the 2-minute warning will stop the clock as well. That's a perfect time to use their first time out here in the second half. And you go back to that last punt by Brandon Fields, and Joe McKnight came real close to blocking it. Sure that the Jets, who are so good on special teams with Mike Westhoff, their special teams coordinator, they got to be thinking about blocking a Brandon Fields punt.
Huge play on a 3rd and 3. Jets have 2 timeouts remaining and the 2-minute warning. Dolphins making their first appearance at the new Meadowlands Stadium in this AFC East rivalry. 3rd and 3 for Miami. Brown in the backfield. Fake the handoff. Bootleg. Henny's going to try to run for it. He gets clobbered. At the 24, Brian Thomas. It's a loss of 1 on the play. 4th down, Dolphins.
And it was just a 2-man route on the side that Henny is rolling out to. He had Brandon Marshall out there. Great coverage on Ronnie Brown. And then just no place. Brian Thomas with that coverage. You can see what we're looking at for Henny as he rolls out on the bootleg. Here's Brown. Here's Marshall down the field. You can see that just nobody for him to throw the ball to. Trying to fool the Jets into thinking they were going to run the ball in that 3rd and short. Henny making a good decision not to throw it. Throwing an incomplete pass would have stopped the clock. By hanging on to it, forces the Jets to use their 2nd timeout.
So the Jets with 1 timeout remaining. 2:28 left on the clock. Brandon Fields will punt for the 10th time. He's averaging over 56 yards per kick. Antonio Cromartie, the return man, and flags come down.
Well, if this is against the Jets, it'll be 4th and short. It may even be 4th and 1st down.
False start. Illegal snap, number 92. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
John Denny is the snapper. So back it up. Brandon Fields, who's been able to flip the field all day with his booming kicks. Cromartie goes down. Antonio Cromartie could not keep his footing. And he's down to the 25 after the 58-yard punt by Fields. What a performance. Coming up tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes. Interview with Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, followed by the finale of The Amazing Race. New episodes of Undercover Boss and CSI Miami. That's tonight, only CBS. It's now 8 straight quarters without an offensive touchdown for the Jets.
How about Brandon Fields, Ian? 10 punts, over 500 yards of punts today. That's as good an effort as I've ever seen from a punter.
Can Sanchez come through in the late stages as he has done throughout the season? Jericho Cotchery with a catch. And Cotchery short of a 1st down. It's a 9-yard gain. Can they get one play off before the 2-minute warning? They're trying to rush. 2:02, 2:01. They didn't get it. 2nd and 1 when we come back. Rex Ryan and the Jets, 2 minutes to play, trailing the Dolphins 10-6. Second and 1 for the Jets. They have 1 timeout remaining. They trail the Miami Dolphins 10-6 with 2 minutes to play. They have played in some gut-wrenching games over the course of this season. And Sanchez has come up with big plays. From the gun, Tomlinson will get the 1st down out across the 35. So they get the first order of business out of the way. And this drive will continue, but the clock is moving down to 1:48 and counting. Sanchez steps up, loses the football, able to cover up. Carlos Dansby putting the heat, and a loss of 4 on the play.
Well, Mike Nolan just trying to make Mark Sanchez as uncomfortable as possible. Benny Sapp coming on the safety blitz. Dansby swats the ball out of Sanchez's hand. He'll get credit for a sack here. And that's just been the type of day for Mark Sanchez. He had some room to run, stepping up in the pocket there, but Dansby with a heads-up play.
Well, not only do you get out of rhythm offensively for the Jets, but you're forced to use your final timeout.
Yeah, because your receivers are way down the field. You can't really afford to spend the time for them to come back and get lined up. So using that timeout was smart, but could be costly as well.
The Jets have 1:38 to work with. No timeouts remaining. And a 2nd and 14 from their own 32. Empty backfield, spread formation for the Jets. Sanchez throws, it's dropped! Jericho Cotchery. It would have been a first down and then some.
Yeah, the then some was going to be huge too, because he was on the run, full speed, ball perfectly thrown by Sanchez. And look at what Cotchery was going to be able to do. Jeremiah Bell was closing, but Cotchery with his speed was going to pull away from him, make a big gain for the Jets. If.
Santonio Holmes dropped a sure touchdown in the first half. That was a first down throw to Cotchery. Dropped by the wide receiver in a 3rd and 14. Sanchez. And throwing into a crowd. It's Cotchery making the catch. And a first down for New York. Out across the 45. It covers 14 yards. Moving quickly now. And they'll spike it with 1:19. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't. I think you got plenty of time to keep moving. Again, you're killing your own momentum you've just created with that good catch by Cotchery in a crowd. Look at this catch by Cotchery. Sean Smith coming, trying to take a swipe at that ball. Koamisi with the tackle. Cotchery, good effort to get the first down.
Jets get to catch their breath, but they wasted it down on the spike. And a 2nd and 10 out near midfield. From the gun, rush is coming. Sanchez, he is sacked. Sanchez coughed up the football. Brandon Moore on the recovery. Cameron Wake busting through for Miami, and the clock is rolling down to 1:02 left in the 4th. On 3rd down for the Jets, Sanchez knocked down. Sean Smith gets his hands on it again. And the clock stops with 54 seconds to play.
Now the Dolphins just getting it done with their pressure on Mark Sanchez. And then in the back end, the play by Sean Smith. Here's going back 2 plays, the sack by Cameron Wake, as he goes right around Wayne Hunter to pick up another sack. And here's the play by Sean Smith. And it looked like Jeremiah Bell might have been able to pick it off if Smith doesn't knock it down.
Ball game, 4th and 15. Sanchez in trouble. Sanchez trying to break free, and he's brought down. That'll do it. Cameron Wake. The Miami Dolphins come into the Meadowlands and get a huge win. And the Jets have lost their swagger.
Cameron Wake came in leading the league in sacks with 12. He gets a couple of back-to-back plays here working against Wayne Hunter. Hunter, of course, filling in for Damian Woody. But Wake has such great leverage and quickness. Hunter does a good job of keeping away from the quarterback, but once Sanchez steps up, Wake keeps his eyes on him and closes.
It's over. Jets have no timeouts remaining. Mark Sanchez, 17 of 44, 216 yards and a pick. Chad Henne threw for just 55 yards, but the defense comes through for the Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins improve to 7-6, and they're still alive in the AFC playoff picture for Tony Sperano and company. The Jets fall to 9-4. All of the Dolphin points come off of turnovers. Final score here at the Meadowlands. Miami 10, the Jets 6. Coming up, 60 minutes followed by the finale of The Amazing Race and new episodes of Undercover Boss and CSI Miami. For Dan Fouts, this is Ian Eagle saying so long from the Meadowlands. The Dolphins get it done on the road. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.